Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. Let me share with you one of the most powerful, life-changing stories in my life. Okay, I might have said this before, quite some time ago. I do not know where the video is, so I thought I would share this with you again. Now, when people look at me, they obviously see, oh, tattooed guy, he's very different. Oh, he makes YouTube videos, he's very different. Oh, he lives a very different life. He's very different. Um, and people, then there are these people who admire, some who admire me and they think, wow, Loy is like, he studies so hard, reads so much. He has taken coaching, he has taken mentoring, now he mentors others. What people fail to realize is even though I'm different in terms of appearance, choices that I made in life, there are a lot of similarities between me and you, lots. Okay. And it's beyond like, oh, two hands, two legs, I cry, you cry, I feel hungry, you feel hungry. No, I'm talking of our value systems. Like I'll give you a simple, small example. Now, would you believe if I tell you that, um, you know, we speak many times about being freeloaders, right? I tell you like this guy's a freeloader. He's looking at free information, free service, free this, free that. Or this is the Google generation. They just Google things and they get things. They don't want to spend any money. Well, guess what? Even I was born and raised and into that kind of thinking. I'm an Indian passport holder, even though I've not been in India. But my culture, tradition, everything is very Indian. And we also, my family, they also believe like instead of getting professional training, why don't you just ask somebody and find out? Or those days there was no Google. But however, once Google came into play and we could Google information or get any information online for free, I mean, why would anyone pay anyone anything? And this continued throughout the later half of my life. Even after me going into the coaching industry, that mentality was still there. Now, I'll give you a small example. Okay, I'll give you a small example. So it'll make sense to you. Now, I've always been a person who's very active where exercise is concerned, very active, maybe because of my ADHD or the person that I am. I've always gone to the gym, always. I've always done some physical activity. I cannot sit without doing it. And I played around with my body. I've experimented with supplements, steroids, the whole nine yards. However, the mistake that I made in all the years from the age of 16, when I started bodybuilding, until the age of I would say 36. Yes. Just imagine 20 years almost. Was I self medicated myself. I self did everything by myself. I never went to a professional. Never, ever, ever. Okay. And obviously, you read a magazine, you see what the guy is doing, you do the same. You see what a guy is eating, you do the same. Those days it was magazine. Then obviously, then came DVDs, then came videos, then came, the early dawn of the internet. You could download information through Kaza and Napster and all that. If you're a younger generation, you may not know what they are. They were the peer-to-peer at those days. So as I grew up, I always believed if I need any information, no need to ask anyone. Just do it by yourself. You get all the ask two, three guys. And so I use the same psychology even during my marathon days when I went, obviously, after multiple injuries on my back, my knees, my shoulders, my elbows, uh, years of bodybuilding, powerlifting. I was lifting like incredibly heavy. I've told you this before. Leg press, 310 kilos. I was doing leg press, full squat without the machine rack, full squat, plain bar, 210 kilos. Deadlift, lifting the weight off the ground, 185 kilos. Chest was rather weak because my wrists were weak. I was doing 135 kilos. I was big and obviously steroid jacked. I was massive. But then, your body can't handle that kind of load. It's not designed. And injuries, very soon I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up without pain. I couldn't move. I was very stiff. And then I stopped bodybuilding because I just couldn't. Even if I would lift a weight like this, it would pain in all the areas in the nerves. And eating the same old habits, I put on massive weight. I became up to 125 kilos. You know that. I couldn't even walk up the stairs without huffing and puffing. So then, you know, after sitting for a year not doing anything, I decided again, let me get back into fitness. And I tried to go to the gym, didn't work out. So I finally realized maybe I can do jogging. You call it jogging or running. And that is where, obviously, I used to do it alone because I've always done it alone. YouTube, just Google search how to jog, how to run. So I started getting books. I started reading by myself. And I decided I'll do barefoot running, running without shoes. Okay, barefoot. And from not being able to move even 50 meters to 100 meters, I saw progress 100, 200, half a kilometer, 1 kilometer. Very soon I was able to do 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. And that took my journey towards, wanting to do a half marathon, which I never thought possible. I joined a running group. However, here is where the critical part is. I spent, I think, just to save money, okay? 6 years, I did research by myself. I watched YouTube by myself. I asked people around, everything for free. And why do I say for free? Because I knew that there are some people going to professional coaches, which I could never understand. Why would you go to a professional coach for jogging and running? There were people who were doing professionally. I used to see them being trained. And then when I once inquired, how much do you pay per month or whatever this is? They said, no, per hour, we pay around $150, $200. There were cases where they were paying $300 per hour. I was like, are you crazy? I didn't say that to them. I was thinking to myself, man, you're really crazy wasting that kind of money. 300, oh, I can take 1 month, 2 month, or even 1 year membership in a cheap gym. Why would you pay per hour for such people? And then I would see them dressed up sophisticated, have sophisticated stuff and all that. I was like, these people are mad. Okay. So went my own life, happy. But this is where I made a major mistake. And I think, when you don't have any competition, when you don't compare yourself to anyone and you compare yourself to anyone, you're like a big frog in a small well. You think you're the greatest. And this is exactly what happened to me. I used to think, I know everything. And even though I was able, by the time my body had adapted, I was able to do 21, even I did 48 kilometers barefoot without shoes, 48, from Sharjah all the way to Burj Al Arab. Okay, I did that by myself. But I still had this massive belly, huge belly. I was still fat and I was still slow in running while everyone else was improving. And this continued until there's this particular character who was a person I knew, 50-year-old Santosh, his name was Santosh Kumar, who was a yoga teacher. He joined running after me. Initially, obviously, because I had more experience than him, I was always overtaking him and always faster than him. And by faster, I mean I was literally walking. That was my running. I was actually walking, but it was like a slow jog. But my body could handle it because now it got used to it. For 6 years, I've been doing. So this guy came in, and initially he couldn't overtake me because 21 kilometers. I was doing it for every every day or every alternate day. I was running 21 kilometers, so he couldn't. But very soon, the distance between him and me started to catch up, and we were very competitive. We used to tease each other. We were like friendly with each other, and because he was a yoga teacher, I think he was able to adapt much more faster. And because we had a friendly banter between us, he told me that I'm going to overtake you very soon. Yeah, I said, yeah, we'll see. In less than a few months of him joining, first he couldn't even come close to me. Within a few months, he came to my pace, and within a few more months, he not only achieved my pace, he overtook me in terms of timing. If he would run a half marathon, he would easily run faster than me. So then we began competitively teasing each other. I'll show you, you'll show me. Now, remember, this guy's 50, that time he was 54 or 55, and I'm in my 30s, and he's still overtaking me. I was like, now I'm going to show him. And then when we started, first it began as a joke, and then very soon it became kind of serious. And we used to we used to run together in a group, and we used to always tease each other. One day, this happened where he made a joke in front of everyone because we were teasing it. Lloyd, the day I said, "Oh, get ready, Dubai half marathon is coming. Okay, I'm going to show you." Yeah, yeah. He said in front of everyone, "The day you can beat me in running, the day you can, I'll change my name." And he's saying, Loy is going to beat me in running. Everyone started to laugh, because we are joking. However, I do not know what happened that day. Was it because there was a large crowd? Or we used to meet around 5 in the morning as a group in the garden. It was like near the artificially created lake. So it was a round circle of, I think, 8 or 10 kilometers. So everyone laughed. Everybody laughed at me. Okay. Ha ha ha. I kind of took it personally. I kind of didn't like it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to show. I'm going to definitely show. So even though I didn't tell him that I felt bad, I was like, oh, definitely. You have these moments where someone teases you and it kind of gets to you. So then I decided I'm going to show him. So obviously, what did I do? As soon as I went home, okay, YouTube, Google search all the stuff and took out articles. Okay, how to run faster, how to do this, how to improve your strength. I did all the research. And then Kinikonia, there is a shopping mall in Dubai Mall. It's one of the largest bookstores. I went and literally spent, I think, close to $2,000 worth of books, running and exercise, fitness, and this and that. I bought all of it. Then I used to join a small gym near my house. I decided I'm going to train heavy, and because I used to do steroids for muscle building, big mass, I started taking steroids just to get more muscle, become more stronger. Okay. Little did I know that what I was doing was actually doing more harm than good. And before, where I was half marathon, when I used to run, not run, like I told you, walking, I would be among the last people to finish the half marathon. Whichever half marathons were being organized in Dubai, many are being organized. I used to always be among the last, like the last 50 runners out of 1,000, I would be among the last 50. My speed improved a little from 3:30, that is the closing down of a marathon, 3 hours, 30 minutes, where the slowest of the slowest. In fact, you'll see a guy with crutches, like people on the wheelchair. That is the category I would come down to. 3 hours, 30 minutes, they'll close a marathon. I was there. My maximum I improved was 3 hours, a half marathon, which is super slow. It is like walking. So I got ready with all the big muscles and all that, and I thought, I'm going to show this guy this time. To my shock and surprise, where before I used to at least overtake him, or he used to overtake me, but I was nearly there, or he was finishing the marathon and I would come 15 minutes later or half an hour later. That particular half marathon, I not only came, I think they closed down they finished the marathon, everyone was going home, and I came in last, dead last. In fact, I think the only other person was someone who was on, like I told you, crutches, no? And people are encouraging, hey, come on, Loy, come on, come on. And I was so embarrassed. And then obviously he saw me, ha, 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 and told you, Loy, and this and that. He laughed, hey, friendly. And I took it very personally. And when I went home, I was like, I trained all these months, 2, 3 months. He also trained, and we were like, friendly banter. I spent $2,000 on books and all that. I spent money on steroids. I spent money on research. I spent so much of time, effort. I really put in a lot of effort, like 4, 5, 6 hours training every day with whatever I thought was training. How come I came last? What did I do wrong? And then, I said, okay, I'm going to do it again because I was not a guy who ready to give up. I tried again. The next, there's a season for running in the Middle East countries, especially during the cold winter months. They have half marathons and marathon back to back to back to back to back. Every race I took part in, marathon, he was like, the gap had grown so big before, at least he was near me or I used to overtake him. Then there was a 15-minute he was ahead of me. Then half an hour ahead of me. Now he was ahead of me by a full hour. 1 hour progress. That means after 1 hour, only then I would finish the race after him. And it very soon became, he was getting even faster. 1 hour, 15 minutes, 1.5 hour. And very soon it became evident that it would be impossible for me to beat him because I was not improving at all. Finally, after I think nearly taking part in all the half marathons, he no longer even joked with me because I was no longer in his league. And that really hit me because I'm a very competitive person. And it was then I decided I don't care what it takes. Next year, I'm definitely going to improve. I don't care what it takes. And that is where I started asking professional runners, not professional, people who take this coaching, and ask them, what are you doing? And later on, I found out that this guy trains with a kind of professional group of runners. So I started inquiring, okay, professional group of runners and coaches. And very soon I found out these coaches charge a bomb, man. It's like $100, $150. But now it was different because now I had a goal, I had a burning desire. I was very hurt and upset. I really wanted to prove a point because if a guy who was nearly going to be in his 60s can run faster than me, I'm in my 30s. What the hell, man? So, being competitive that I was not ready to give up. So I started doing research to find a coach and all that. And finally, it zeroed down to one person. His name is, which I've told you before, his name was Jacques Sophie. He was a track and field Olympic qualified. He had trained for the Olympics. Track and field Olympic coach. He specializes in track and field, that is running, in the stadium, jumping, running, whatever. And he was educated in that. His whole life was dedicated to that. Like any other typical Indian, the first mistake that I made was I destroyed my impression in front of him by asking him for a discount and last price and this and that. And the next thing I know that the guy didn't even take my calls. And he was the only coach available whom I felt fit my profile. He didn't take my call for a month. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, I pissed him off. And then I literally had to beg and plead and ask him. And after asking from known friends and people, after 1 month, he finally agreed to meet up with me. He used to hate Indians. He's not that he's racist. He used to hate the people who used to ask discount. And we Indians are very famous for discount and last price. I told you, people think I'm different. I'm very much like you. So discount and last price and cheapest best and okay, you give me for free and then we'll see him. He didn't give a damn. So I realized this guy's not falling for all my bullshit. I need him more than he needs me. Finally, I begged, pleaded, I agreed whatever amount he would charge me. Let's start the session. When he took me on board, when he decided, okay, I'll train you one session, but obviously I'll charge you for it. I was under the impression the training would start that day. But when he took me on board, he didn't give me any training that day, nothing. He met me, and to my surprise, he asked me questions about me, he asked me questions about my health. Then he evaluated me, and his process of evaluation was, and remember, I was ready for training. I thought we're going to do running. I had preconceived notions. He took me to a hotel where there was an exercise room. He knew somebody there. And he asked me to do stupid things like raise your hands, lift my hands. Okay, hold it this way. I held it this way. And then stand on one leg. Okay. Then stand on the other leg. Okay. Now touch your feet. I couldn't even touch my knees. Okay. Bend this way, bend that way. Do this, do that, and various angles. Okay. Do a push up. I used to think I knew how to do push ups. He said, no. Don't do push up like that. Do slowly come up. And then he would evaluate. Okay, wait. He was busy writing down. And I was wondering and he took around, I think, 2 hours, just evaluate. And I was huffing and puffing, even with just touching my toes and doing the simple things that he told me. Like just hold your hand this way, and I was getting tired. And Now imagine I had preconceived notions of what training should be, and he completely flipped the switch and asked me to do something else totally. Finally, after the session, obviously he charged me again, and he told me, Loy, these are your current problems. And until you sort all these problems, and there was a long list, you cannot do anything worthwhile. There'll be zero progress. And I was like, really? To my surprise, my knees were bad, my back was bad, my shoulders were bad, my everything was basically bad. And he said, if you want me to coach you, we'll have to correct all these things one by one. First your knee, first your back, because your back supports your weight, then your knees, then your posture, then your hands. We'll have to move your body properly. And I was like completely taken aback. I was like, bloody hell, I didn't know all this existed. Okay, fine. And then to my surprise, where I was under the impression we'll just start running, he even recommended me to go for a physiotherapy massage. He even recommended for me to go instead of running. Imagine I have booked his session with an objective to be a runner. Instead of running, he's telling me, come, we'll meet in the pool, swimming pool, public pool. And there he would teach me how to move my legs and float. And I was wondering, what is all this? But by the time I totally trusted his coaching, I dedicated myself to him. Very soon, to my surprise, he told me, we'll start running now. Finally. I was like, oh, finally, okay. But instead of running, which I thought was we will just do jogging, he asked me to meet him in a public park where there was hills and ups and downs. And he said, okay, climb up. I was like, climb up? This is a hill. What? And I climbed up, I climbed down, and he was like, okay, busy taking down. He used to always take down notes. I was like, what the hell is happening here? And then after that, he said, we need to sit down and talk. I said, okay. And, I thought I was always ready because remember, google.com, Yahoo, YouTube, all that information plus reading books. I thought I knew so many things. So, Loy, today we will discuss some of your issues. I saw how you run. What shoes are you wearing? I said, shoes? I just put shoes. Running. No, this is not the right shoes. What socks you're wearing? I said, I just put any socks. Okay. What underwear you're wearing? Undergarments. I just put normal. Like, what under? He was like, okay. Shorts. Okay, he chugged the shorts. What brand shirt you're wearing? Everything he started evaluating. What did you eat? When did you eat? I used to just, whatever. Like coffee, I'll drink and come. He said, no, we need to change everything. To my shock and surprise, I never knew there is different types of shoes for different types of training. Uphill, there is a shoes. Flat ground, there is shoes. Soft area, there's another shoes. Long distance, there's a shoes. Short, intense training, there's a shoes. Then there is socks, different kinds of socks. Short ones, till the ankle, till the calves. Compression socks. Then recovery socks. Then undergarments. I never knew that there are specific, types of running gear for runners. Like, I didn't know there's different kinds of shorts that you have to wear. I didn't know there was material that you have to wear for running. I did not even know that, like, the technology that was there. I used to not bother. He told me that I needed to buy the Garmin watch. Okay. Garmin, there's another brand here. Polar, yeah. And then he introduced me to a heart rate monitor. He told me how to measure this. He told me how to keep my heart at a particular pace and this thing and take down notes for that. Then, in a week, he would plan out Sunday you'll do this, Monday you'll do this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then he would even record what time, he would ask me, record what time you're sleeping, when do you wake up, how do you sleep, you have to sleep in the afternoon, you have to do this, you have to do. Food was completely changed. Then, stuff that I never imagined. Just think, I've asked him for marathon running and he's taking me to the ocean for swimming. He's taking me the training, which I used to do at, whatever time. He used to take me at 11 o'clock in the afternoon heat of Dubai till 1 o'clock, 10 till 1 o'clock in the heat of Dubai on the beach, soft sand and run in the water. I used to wonder why. said, yeah, because you have damaged your knees and your lower back. We can't put any pressure on it. He used to make me run up and down stairs, which I was to wonder why. Yeah, the gym exercise was not heavy. He totally made me stop gym. And obviously, I had to admit to him, I took steroids. He said, no, you need to completely stop that. And then he would ask me to, play around with baby weights, which proved to be very heavy after you keep holding weights in a particular way. He would ask me to stretch in a particular way, dress in a particular way. I mean, everything changed. Now, obviously, you'll say that, oh shit, man, didn't your bills, rack up? Here's the funny thing. The 6 years that I was in running, when I calculated what I paid this guy, the 6 years expense was much more than what I paid him. Okay, obviously. But guess what? 6 years, zero progress. In fact, it was minus, it was negative. But in 6 months, I achieved what I never achieved my entire life. And to give you the end result, in 6 months, I not only defeated that same guy, Santosh, that runner, I became the fastest that I ever recorded a run in my life. Not even in my college days, I was as fast. Imagine those, when you are in your 20s and all that, you're super fast, right? I was even faster than what I was in my college days with a back injury, with bad knees, being overweight, and with everything. And I achieved the records that I was never able to smash. 5 kilometers timing, 10 kilometers timing, half marathon timing. I achieved all under his guidance within 6 months. In fact, I ran, I think, 12 kilometers in less than, I think, 54 minutes, which is, for me, is a record. It's unbelievable. If you run a distance, 12 kilometers in 54 minutes or 55, what it is. I couldn't imagine. For a guy like me who was overweight and heavily overweight and with bad knees, bad back, and people never believed I could have done it. Means runners who knew for 6 months. But when they saw my progress in 6 months, what I didn't achieve, everybody was shocked. In fact, the most shocked individual was me. I was the most shocked. Now imagine, just think about it. The time, the amount of time I wasted doing the wrong things, the amount of money I wasted, the amount of effort I wasted, and the cost of 6 years. I sat down and asked myself, had I taken this guy's mentoring 6 years ago, I would have achieved all the records. I would have redone history and broken every record in every half marathon. And who knows, I would have been what kind of an athlete. Sadly, I, couldn't go back in time. I couldn't go back to when I started my marathon sessions. But had I taken professional training that time, I mean, the few years, the last 6 years that I stayed in UAE, because I met him the final stages of my running, my life in UAE, it would have been the greatest. I would have had the best memories. I deprived myself of glory. I deprived myself of success. I deprived myself of everything. And, sometimes it really pains and aches me when I think about my past. Just to save money, just to save time, just to, the typical cheap Indian mentality, sad to say, which many of us have. I wasted something so precious as time. Today I'm 46. Just imagine if I could go back in time and relive my life with proper professional mentoring, where would I be? Sometimes when I have my clients, they talk to me and say, Loy, had I met you 10 years ago, had I met you in my college, should I have been different? I kind of understand what they are saying because I feel the same. Had I had the right mentor, had I making the right choices, where would I be today? However, like they say, okay, they can say it's never too late, but at the same time, sometimes, yes, it is a bit too late. You have lost those years, you're not going to get it back. And for me, the painful reality is that That moment of glory, I'll never get back in my life. Never. Those wasted years. You know, as I think back on all that I did with the 6 months, 6 to 8 months, and then we had a relationship for another 2 more years. Those were without a doubt the greatest that I spent for training. And mind you, I worked very hard, very, very hard. 3 days a week, I would get up at 4 in the morning, okay, 4 in the morning, sometimes three, and train the whole day, whole day. Uh, I would get up at 3 in the morning. By 4:30, I would leave the house, drive down, I think 50 kilometers, then park my car because I didn't want to experience the traffic. I had to drive from Sharjah to Dubai, then sleep in the car, wake up at around 8, have my black coffee and first carb snack. And then after that, he would come after 1 hour. We started training at around 10ish, 10 to 12, we would train. Then 1 o'clock, I would drive back, reach home. Then I would sleep in the afternoon. And then again, get ready and travel back to Dubai from my residence. By 4 o'clock, I'd reach a runners group, train with them until 6. By 7 or 8, I would reach home. Then obviously get prepared, put things to wash, have a cold water bath, and then that is one day, the training, the 3 days of training. But in between were sandwiched the off days. Off days, I would go for physiotherapy, massage. I would go for sauna steam. I would go for recovering the body, sleep more, eat healthy. My lifestyle completely changed. I was a very different human being, very different animal. And I really appreciated what professionals do. So in hindsight, when I look back, I deprived myself of this incredible knowledge, this incredible expertise, this incredible lifestyle that would have made me a much better human being. And, very soon I moved. I tried running, then I tried swimming, then I tried triathlon. He introduced me to triathlon. Man, the best years of my life I had after I met him in terms of training and peak performance. That is the power of mentoring. It's unfortunate that I had to cut short my life in Dubai because obviously priorities change. But not a day goes by where I don't regret that, sheesh, had I done this 6 years ago, where would I have been? Or I wish sometimes, had I done this from college days, I mean, where would I have been? Not college, school days. Totally different. I deprived myself and the world to show the best Loy Machedo that I could be. In fact, I told the fastest run and the fastest records I achieved in the 6 months that I was with him. Just imagine if I had this professional training right from my school days, where would I have been? So yeah, if there is one moral of the story I can give you through this is, you know, don't have the typical Indian mentality or stingy mentality or even the Western mentality. Oh, I'll just Google search, I'll just YouTube it, and I will just read some book. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. And don't think that you're so smart that you don't need a professional. As we're getting older, we look back on our lives and realize, man, the time, the money, the effort that we wasted. Believe it or not, you pay a professional. Yes, it's expensive, but then that is worth much more than all the time, effort, and money that you waste doing the wrong thing and destroying your life. When I'm 46, I can't go back and become a 20-year-old buck, a 16-year-old young man. I wish what I know today. Had I realized at that time, who knows, where would I be? Just like sometimes my clients are like, where would I be? Anyway, this is just what I wanted to share with you. It is without a doubt the most powerful story of my life that I could share with anyone. So I'm sharing it with you. The good, bad, ugly, let me know. What do you feel? Do you have such a story in your life where you have realized the power of mentoring or, because if you have, you'd know what I'm saying. And like, all my clients tell me, Ishla, I wish I had found you, someone to mentor me, someone to guide me. Where would I be today? But then it's too late, no? Anyway, good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I wanted to share this, a very heart to heart thing. Uh, I have just memories. That's all I can tell you. Okay. You guys take care. It's me signing off.